Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of the DoubleClutch.ca podcast. I'm your host, Nick, managing editor of DoubleClutch.ca magazine, and I'm joined in studio by...
It's just me. It's just me, guys. It's just me and Nick today.
Yeah. Just two of us. Imran couldn't make it. Neither could Rush, because apparently they're too good for us. And that's too bad, because we actually have quite a bit of neat stuff to talk about.
Why don't you tell us about it, Nick?
All right. Well, we have a very important Volkswagen in the garage this week. Then Nathan's going to regale us with his thoughts on the Hummer EV SUT. I'm going to touch a bit about the Lightning. And we're going to wrap up this week's episode by recapping our travels, which was coincidentally the reason why we couldn't record last week.
Yeah.
So, let's dive right in.
Get into it, Nick. Tell us about your car.
Nathan, we've driven a lot of cool stuff over the last year. A lot of, super expensive, super wild stuff.
Like
the Rolls-Royce Spectre.
Oh, yeah, that was neat.
We had we had the Spectre. We had the Artura.
That was neat.
We had the Huracan Storado and the Technica.
Those were neat.
Which were very cool.
We had the Z4. That was cool.
Yeah. We got to spend some more quality time with the LC500 cab again.
Yep. God, that thing's good.
Oh. Imran had the GT663 Coupe.
I had back-to-back Aston Martins and the DBX
DB12.
and the DB12.
And yet, none of those cars, except for maybe the Storado, turned as many heads as my electric Volkswagen this week.
But it's not just an electric Volkswagen. Sorry, you had a thing going.
It is not just an electric Volkswagen. You fucking cut me off again.
I'm sorry!
This is our second time.
Go. It is
a 2025 Volkswagen ID Buzz.
How do you feel about that name? Because it's a play on the old VW bus. For anyone who's not aware, the ID Buzz looks is styled after the classic Volkswagen bus. The two-tone white and pastel, super retro, but also very futuristic brick.
I feel like Buzz is weird. Why not just call it the ID Bus?
Because Buzz is electricer? Because bus isn't sexy.
Yeah, but everyone calls it the bus. When you think of bus, you either think of that Volkswagen synonymous with concerts and smoking weed and all that stuff and surfing, or city buses.
It might be.
So why not just call it the bus?
They probably just didn't want bus in the name.
That's a fair point.
If I were to guess.
Yeah.
Also for searching.
Probably.
Either way. Also, Z is the hippest letter.
True.
This has got two of them.
That's a
wow.
Double sick.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh my god, this thing is cool.
Yeah, it's fucking pretty rad. Even when I was just out getting us lunch, two of the guys came out yo, that thing is wild. What the fuck is that?
Yeah. It looks like nothing else on the road.
Did you say it caused a car accident?
No, Addy did.
Right.
Yeah, because Addy had it out. Addy stole it yesterday, and apparently someone in a Yaris rear-ended someone else
because they were taking a picture of the bus.
That was hilarious.
Same problem I had in the Storado. So it's at least as distracting as a bright yellow Lamborghini.
Hell yeah! Yeah, this thing is, and the worst part is I'm a self-proclaimed introvert.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you hate
so
this.
So at the same time, while I love the look, I hate the attention it gets. I can't fucking pick my nose because everyone's looking over.
Why are you picking your nose, Nick?
Who doesn't pick their nose when they're driving?
I obviously don't. That would be uncool. I've never done that ever.
Well, yeah.
Ever. No one ever does that except you.
No, absolutely not. Well, maybe me and Jared Seinfeld did that one episode. Anyway,
it wasn't a pick. It was a scratch.
Yeah, this thing looks like nothing else on the road.
Yeah, it's hard to explain. It is just a really nicely chiseled two-tone brick. It's like a pastel mint green
on
white.
On a white roof with white wheels. Big light up Volkswagen logo up front. Sliding doors.
Yeah, like it's ostensibly a minivan. Yeah. Like it's just a. I was gonna say normal, but it's not normal. It is a minivan for all intents and purposes, but they've styled it to look so fucking rad. Instead of Kia was big on this with the Carnival.
Yeah,
right. They're trying to hide, get as far away as possible from the fact that it is a van.
Yes, I see where you're going with this.
Volkswagen went the other way and went, "Yo, check it out! It's a fucking van. Isn't that sick?"
If anything, Volkswagen could probably get away with calling this thing a lifestyle utility vehicle much more than Kia calls the Carnival that. It's crazy because this literally is a lifestyle utility vehicle. Like,
why don't you tell us about how much utility it has? Does it terribly practical? Because vans are terribly practical.
In the grand scheme of minivans, it's not. It's a little less roomy than you think because we were. For those of you listening, we were kind of poking around it earlier today. Nathan and I were, and I couldn't see a way to remove the second row seats. Like they can slide all the way forward.
Yeah, there might be a way, but it wasn't intuitive.
It wasn't obvious. Same with the rear row. The rear row, the third row doesn't fold into the floor like a normal minivan would.
That's because there's a battery there.
Yeah, exactly. But VW does give you like this kind of a shelf thing that evens it out, and that also doubles as kind of like a subfloor storage area, I guess.
Okay.
So there's a bit of utility, but not quite on the same level you'd expect as a mainstream minivan. But it's roomy enough.
It's still a van. It's still a large van. There's lots of room. You can walk around in it comfortably.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You can easily walk through like all three rows. What really surprised me was how fucking easy it is to see out of this thing.
Oh yeah, because it is just a box.
Yeah,
just a glass box
with a massive greenhouse. It's. I've always said like Subaru does visibility really good. Nah, the ID Buzz does it better. Yeah, way better.
Just like by the raw merit of the shape, because it has no snout.
Yeah,
you're just sitting over the front wheels. It's really easy to position yourself.
It's great. Yeah, it's fucking great.
Yeah,
I feel like it's a little. I feel like the footprint is a little big. Like it's a little tough to like squeeze into tight parking spots.
It's weird because it is large, but it does not feel large at all. Like it feels, especially because it's a Volkswagen, because it uses Volkswagen design language, and because it's white, with like matte wood and like I don't know what you call it, like an ochre sort of accent to the interior,
birch-ish. Yeah, it's
with like the orangey, like the pastel orange accents. This is a lot of like really light stuff you'd expect to see on like a cute small little car.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's a bus.
Yeah, and like it makes that plus the massive ass windows makes the cabin feel really, really spacious.
Yeah, it's like,
even though it might not be the most usable.
Yeah, it's a very successful retro futurism.
It's funny, this morning. On the way to the office, so I was coming up. This like older couple in an Explorer, and as I was passing them, like I could visibly see the passenger or wife, whatever, like visibly drop her jaw and widen her eyes. And like she couldn't stop staring for like 10 fucking seconds. She just kept staring at it.
Yeah, because the thing is striking. It's just visually just a lot, and it looks cool. They actually they knocked the design of this thing out of the fucking park.
Yeah,
I think it'll be like a really cool showroom piece, flagship piece, halo piece. Just like generate buzz for the brand. I think it'll be really good for that. Why don't you tell us about why it might not be the most successful product in some manners?
So,
possibly.
Beyond having perhaps not the most practical interior in terms of storage and flexibility for a minivan, the biggest drawback against the ID Buzz, and it sucks to say this because it's such a home run.
It's so fucking cool.
In almost every other area is the range. everyone talks about the range.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not great.
Yeah, you were saying it was...
So Volkswagen rates it, I want to say around 375 kilometers. I think. Don't quote me on it.
Yeah.
I think rear-wheel drive versions are 377 kilometers.
Okay.
The all-wheel drive version, which is what we have, 373 kilometers.
So about the same.
Yeah.
About 375.
Yeah. Which, in the grand scheme of things, if range wasn't so terrible to begin with, that's actually not a big difference between rear and all-wheel drive.
No, it's very minuscule.
Yeah. But so I picked it up on Monday, full charge.
Yeah.
The onboard computer was at about 384 kilometers.
Right. It was estimated 384.
Yeah.
For the record, for our listeners, Nick, when he gets an EV, actually tries to be a good journalist
Yes.
and will deliberately run them down as close to zero as he can get to see real life actual range.
Yeah.
And not guess like some people.
Yeah, thanks for charging my Lightning last week.
Didn't I? Oh, I wasn't here, dude.
Oh, okay. Then
Yeah.
I'm just going to yell at Addie for not charging it, so I couldn't figure out the range on that thing. Anyway, okay. So I picked it up with 384 kilometers, and as Nathan mentioned, I like to run these things dry. No, dry doesn't make sense because they're electrons.
Flat.
Right now I'm at about 280 kilometers. 270, 280 kilometers?
Yeah.
You had an Outlast, so I don't know.
You're in that range, yeah.
And I have about
You have 88 left.
Oh, God.
You're kind of close, man.
I really...
So Nick has
really
a 45 kilometer commute?
It's about 40 kilometers, mostly highway.
Mm-hmm.
And I normally don't look forward to traffic, but, traffic does lend us...
You're going to need it.
Yeah.
Let's wrap this up so you can go sit in traffic. Reset that battery a little bit.
But yeah, we're at started with 384. We're at about 280 kilometers now, and I have about 88 kilometers left.
Right.
And this is not in winter either.
Yeah.
I'm basically...
Problem. It's nice out.
It's nice out. I'm using the car normally. I'm not turning on off climate. I'm using the heated seats, heated steering wheel, everything as I normally would. And I would be lucky if I can get this thing over 350 kilometers.
Uh-huh.
And that stings.
That does sting.
Because on top of all that, this ID Buzz, as tested, as you're looking at it outside, is 85 grand as tested.
I mean, okay. I think if this thing had 100 extra kilometers, that'd be fine. Mm-hmm. For a large flagship vehicle that looks the way it does, I think that would be obviously tall, but all EVs are expensive. This would at least be palatable.
Yeah.
I think at this point, man, that's a fucking pretty big ask. You're giving up a lot of practicality in the name of swag. Absolutely. Yeah. Which is weird because it's a van. It should be practical.
Right. And this is the point that I was kind of trying to make over our coffee run. This is ostensibly a car that, you'll pile your family and friends into, whatever, because it's a minivan, and you'll, hit the road on day trip, road trip, whatever. It's what people used to do with VW buses over the years. So there's a very good reason why everyone's a camper.
Yeah,
and that's the idea behind this buzz. Except between the not so great range and our equally not so great charging infrastructure, you can't really do that. It kind of defeats the purpose.
It's kind of it's kind of limited to be like an urban shuttle. It'd be a wonderful urban shuttle. Yeah. But that's really all it can do, which is sort of not vans can do that. Obviously, they can commute and go drop kids off and shit.
Yeah.
But I don't see this being made for kids. It's made to be cool.
Yeah. It's cool.
I can see a tech startup buying 2 of these to shuttle people around. That's what they're for.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's neat. It's neat. I like it. It drives well. I have no real complaints about it, except I don't even want to bitch about range too much because how often are you doing 400 kilometers in a day? 350 kilometers in a day? Really? Like, it is Wednesday. You pick this thing up on Monday. You had to drive it out here from the other side of town first.
Basically.
Like, how often does that really come up? Like, and if you have a wall plug-in at home to keep it topped up, like, you're doing okay. Realistically, it's fine. And I'm sure that was Volkswagen's rationale. You don't need more. It's fine.
Yeah.
But the problem is that others in this space will give you more without asking for more.
Exactly.
Problem.
Yep. And for over 80 grand.
For over 80 grand.
Yeah.
Right. Whereas my Mach-E this week is 67 and has those extra 100 kilometers.
Oh, yeah. Granted, not as swaggy as the...
not even close to a swaggy.
Buzz.
Not even on the same planet as swag. But it looks fine and it drives really nice.
Yeah.
Like, fucking money big problem. So, like, how much do you want to pay? How much do you want to give up to be swag? Is there giving up both money and... I don't want to say real usefulness, but potential usefulness.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a big... those are two very big, very, very hard to ignore drawbacks on what is ostensibly the coolest thing we've driven this year.
Yeah. It's fucking really cool.
Yeah.
Like easily like the most kick-ass, eye-catching, like, damn, this thing fucks. It's cool.
I even like how it drives. I like the ID4. Like, and, you know, with the power boost it gets this year, I think they bumped it up to 335 horsepower.
Okay.
It should boogie.
Yeah.
And, you know, the last one I drove, it was the pre quote unquote refresh or whatever, so it was still putting out like 290-ish horsepower.
Yeah. That's like,
and it was
whatever.
still like, it was still appreciably quick.
Yeah.
And you know, the Buzz drives
more or less like
more
one
or
of
less
those.
the same. Yeah. It's quick enough. It doesn't do the whole instant torque thing that, you know, wears on you after 3 or 4
it
full
does
runs.
It does. It does have like the good, strong electric low end response, but it's not going to rip your face off, and it doesn't try to.
Exactly. That's probably how I should have phrased it. Is this a little? It's just a slightly heavier ID4 as far as like the driving experience goes.
How big is the battery? Is it the same as the ID4?
Yes. So
Which is
the same.
Help me out because I have no idea.
Upsized battery. I don't know the number off the top of my head.
92 kilowatts or whatever.
Something like that. That sounds about right. I think it's at least 80.
Yeah, but you would. I think the confusing thing. Yeah, so 85.
Okay.
It's
a big battery for something so big and with such a big battery. Where does the range go?
Yeah, but that's not that. 85 is not that big of a battery. It's also 77 usable. They wall some of it out for longevity's sake. That's a big thing that like Volkswagen, BMW, Mercedes do. Is they'll back some of it off, whereas say Tesla doesn't. They'll make it all usable.
Yeah.
And then you have much shorter effective life. So I kind of respect that they've made this decision, but that's a hard sell.
Yeah.
Like it's cool. It's one of those things. It'll draw people in, but I don't know how much it'll be able to transact. I hope it does because it's cool.
Yeah.
But I think until they address that one semi-arbitrary number, it's gonna hurt them.
Yeah.
Like a lot.
Yeah. I agree with you. I really want to like this thing. And you know what? I do like this thing. But
I love balling around in it today. It was great.
Yeah. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
But it's just too expensive for almost too expensive for its own good.
This is a loaded first edition. Like, I'm like this is as much as one of these can get right now.
Yeah.
And I'm willing to bet because almost all these EVs have picked up like a range extension option or extra battery, whatever.
Yeah.
Within a year or two, almost all of them.
Yeah. Well, the rear-wheel drive version, the quote-unquote base one, it still has it's still the same big battery powertrain option.
Yeah.
It's still over 80 grand. But like at the same time, if let's say, you know, if Volkswagen does a version with a smaller battery somehow, unless they somehow change their battery tech between now and when that and when this smaller battery pack version comes out, sure, it might be cheaper, but range ain't getting any better.
Yeah.
Like like even if you find a way to make it cheaper with a smaller battery,
that's the thing.
Your range is going to suffer even more.
Something's got to give, right? It's either like one number has to go up, the other has to go down.
Yeah.
That's kind of the shitty thing about this segment, because they have something otherwise outside of that one number.
Yep.
They have something really fucking cool here.
They absolutely do.
Like, probably one of the coolest new cars of the year.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that one figure, it's hard to endorse.
Yeah. That one figure that normal people care about.
Mm-hmm. Even if it doesn't matter so much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because most people, like, if you're charging at home, you're plugging it in every night anyway.
Yeah. But, like, people the people will see, like, oh, this is, only 300 seconds.
Yeah, something does this, whereas I can go over here and get this.
Or I can save 10 grand and buy a Pacifica plug-in hybrid, and I have the gas engine backup.
Yeah, like, and it's hard to argue with that.
Yeah.
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 Speaking of
iconic,
somewhat silly
reborn icons that are now EVs. What did you have last week?
Last week I had the GMC Hummer EV SUT.
Oh.
I don't like the acronym SUT.
SUT.
SUT. It's too close to slut. Even on GM's own website, it's called Pickup. Like, they brand it as the Hummer Pickup.
Yeah.
But then when you look at the order details, you're ordering a Hummer SUT.
SUT. Yeah, that tells you everything. Maybe they should have just called it Pickup.
Yeah. Either way.
Was it big?
Wow.
On a scale of 1 to Murica, how big was it?
Everything about it was wow. In the best and worst way.
Not WTF?
Oh my god. It's dumb. Yeah. Everything about it is dumb. Every choice they made, they picked the dumb one. In the funniest way. You were commenting on this downstairs. We both kind of had the same vein of thought. You pick it up. Go.
Okay. So to me, it kind of channels with all the decisions that GM has put into this thing. It almost channels the same kind of stupidity from Dodge in the Hellcat years.
Yeah, because like GM, well, they've always been very competent at making like good performance vehicles. When they try to do something, they nail it.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's never really funny.
Yeah.
Fun, sure, but never funny.
Yeah.
This is funny.
Right. And that's something that we didn't see from GM during the Hellcat years because, at that point, they were sort of chasing, when the Camaro was still alive and kicking, where FCA at that point was chasing like horsepower, ha ha ha.
Yeah.
This is fucking stupid.
Yeah, they had comedy cornered.
Yeah, exactly. GM was still focused on making the Camaro into a track weapon.
Mm-hmm.
Which is
and they did a very, very good job with that.
Absolutely. Yeah. But it just wasn't stupid.
Mm-hmm. Nothing they've ever done is really they've done some stupid things, but never done anything comically stupid.
Yeah.
Until this Hummer.
Yeah.
Like, every little thing about it is just pants on head. It's fucking gigantic.
Yeah.
It looks like a Hummer, and Hummers were always ridiculously huge and wide, and so is this.
Mm-hmm.
Because it looks like a Hummer, it is a brick. So it is...
Naturally.
Yeah. And because it is a Hummer, it is on 35-inch gigantic knobby off-road tires.
Of course it is.
So because it is a brick on gigantic knobby off-road tires, its rolling resistance is abso-fucking-lutely terrible. So
Naturally.
It is insanely inefficient. So most EVs have like 90-ish, 90 to 100-ish kilowatt-hour battery.
Yep.
This thing is 205.
Jesus Christ.
More than double.
Yep.
Like, the battery in this thing weighs 3,000 pounds. It's carrying a Corolla around.
Fuck.
All of the time. And it's good for 500 kilometers. And if you do any decent amount of highway, it falls off fast. Because it's trying to hurtle through the air.
That is such a mindfuck.
So, like, when I got in it at 100% charge, it was showing estimated range 577 kilometers.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if this one has the new updated extended battery pack. I am not sure, to be honest. But it said estimated 577. Mm-hmm. I went to my mom's place in Brampton and back. Mm-hmm. That was, I think, 60 kilometers, and I lost 120.
Jesus.
Like, just dumb. It is the anti-EV. It is so, like, despite being electric, it is so crazily inefficient in the way it uses power.
It's almost like it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. They just put the biggest fuck off battery on Earth in it. Oh, you know the Ultium battery you got in the Lyric? They kind of like, let's stack 2 of those some bitches in this thing. But because they have so much power on board, this thing has figures vary. 1,000 horsepower and about 1,200 foot-pounds of torque.
With an asterisk on that.
With an asterisk. Well, GM says 11,500 foot-pounds.
Right, but they don't measure it like everyone else measures it.
Yeah,
so
they're being a little
kind of a
disingenuous. The same way that when Tesla rolled out the Roadster, he said 50,000 foot-pounds of torque or something like that?
35,000.
Something ridiculous. Yeah. But by the same metric, like they're factoring in the torque multiplication from the gear system through the wheels. A Honda Civic in first gear puts out 4,000 foot-pounds.
Yeah, but you don't hear Honda bragging that number.
No, because that's not how we measure it. So either way, true figure, from everything I can see, is about 1,200, which is a fucking lot.
Yep. That checks out, considering how much horsepower it puts out.
Yeah. It's a lot. And so, one of the dumber things about this, and I say dumb about this endearingly. When I picked this thing up, I was in kind of a salty mood that day. And I fucking hated it. And I parked in the parking lot. I went on a little press trip that Nick and I will talk about later. I came back. I still wasn't in love with it. And when I went out to shoot it, I started coming around to how dumb it was. It was fun dumb and not just dumb dumb.
Fun dumb's great.
Yeah. So it has a launch mode. And it's called Watts to Freedom mode.
Of course it is.
Abbreviates to WTF. Because of course it does. And when you bring it up, there's an American flag that's behind the Watts to Freedom thing, and there's a big graphic on every of this thing's modes has a ridiculous graphic on the dash. Every single one that shows it driving across the moon or Mars or some stupid shit.
Hell yeah.
It's so just everything is America. There's an American flag stamped into the C-pillar.
Of course there is.
It's Team America World Police the car. It's
I love it.
Fucking stupid as hell.
I love it.
So anyway, in launch mode, it will do a ridiculous 4-wheel burnout.
That's kind of nuts.
It makes you say, what the fuck? There's nothing that big should be able to move that fast. But it does.
Where was that kind of stupidity, that kind of tongue-in-cheek silliness when the Hellcat was still around?
Well, the Hellcat.
I guess they were just working for. I guess they were just working for Stellantis at that point.
Yeah, they might have switched teams. A couple guys moved over. I don't know. But either way, the thing is funny as fuck. Its other signature gimmick. This thing is super gimmicky. It's just wall-to-wall gimmicks.
Well, yeah,
but they're fun.
It's a statement piece.
Yeah, a big statement piece. So it has 4-wheel steering. And they've done the cool guy thing. Because what a lot of people don't know about 4-wheel steering is that most of these systems are designed on almost every car to crank the rear wheels opposite to the front wheels in low speeds to shorten the wheelbase effectively and maneuver tighter. And then on the highway, it's designed to move the rear wheels in parallel, obviously much lesser, but in parallel with the front wheels, so that you're kind of sliding over and the vehicle feels a little more stable. What GM decided to do is set up this crab walk mode that allows you to move the rear wheels in the same direction as the front wheels at a very extreme angle all the time.
That's sick.
So you can use it to diagonally shimmy side to side in a parking lot or on a trail or whatever.
On a trail?
Yeah! That's allegedly what it's for.
Good God. What trails would you fit on that thing?
I don't know. But
Jesus
I was playing
Christ.
with it where I was shooting it in a massive construction yard.
Yeah.
Because that's where I was able to get enough room for it.
Yep.
And it's surreal to be turning the wheel and have the vehicle move to the right, but I'm still looking dead straight ahead.
That's so
dumb.
Fucky.
And
That's such a mindfuck.
It's especially mindfucky when you get out and watch someone else do it.
Yeah.
It's just zigzagging without actually turning. It's just moving sideways.
Yeah.
Somewhat like a crab.
Wow. It's almost like they call it crab walk for a reason.
Yeah, so it's just really dumb gimmicks that are fun for the sake of being fun. It drove surprisingly well for how big and dumb and stupid it is.
A lot of people a lot of people, Ben included when he had the SUV. A lot of people were complaining about the ride quality and like everything like rattling and shaking inside. I assume you experienced that.
Yes, it rattles quite a bit. But most of that is because it comes with like a 4-panel target top.
Yeah.
And everything that I could hear was from that.
Okay.
They maybe could have done a slightly better job securing that. Because like Ford did on the Bronco, there's like 4 anchor points for every panel, 3 or 4. This just has 2, and you can kind of hear it. But it's watertight to its credit. I power washed it, nothing got through. Yeah. So that's a good start.
Cool. How long is the bed in this thing?
5 feet.
Just as useless as
useless as anything else. Yeah.
Fair.
The interior itself, to Ben's point, so because this vehicle is 160, 170 grand, which is a lot of fucking money, there's a complaint to be made that the interior doesn't feel like a $160,000 truck.
Okay. I see that.
And there was a lot of validity to that.
Yep.
And that was what I felt. And then I spent more time with it, and I did a little bit more reading, and I found out that it is carrying a Corolla's worth of fucking lithium and cobalt in it. Okay, well, there's a lot of your cost.
Yeah.
So when we factor that in, okay, this kind of makes a little more sense. Nothing in there feels really great. Like he's like a leatherette, a faux leather for the seats, and then everything is like a coarse, like a really coarse vinyl that feels tough, but it also feels tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
think it's the same.
Kind of tough.
I think it's the same material that's on the Canyon Denali. It's like a dash panel. It's like a semi-soft vinyl material.
Like Alcantara.
No, it's not. It's just like a coarse vinyl. It's a coarse textured vinyl.
See, when I think of that, I think of that the finish panel running across the Defender's dashboard.
Not quite.
Not quite as coarse as that.
Because it is soft. Like it is a soft material. It's just it's just a strangely coarse finish.
Okay.
Either way,
I'm having trouble picturing it.
It's two-tone that in black with like a lot of like faux brass accents to kind of brighten the place up. Yep. And it's just kind of like, but it sort of fits the mission statement of the thing, because the Hummer was never a luxury vehicle. Yeah. And my only real, just like attention to detail things, like there's a button that lowers the back window, which is cool, especially when you have the 4 panels off on the roof. But it's in the middle of the windshield, which is really far away because it's so upright.
Ugh, yeah.
So it's a serious reach.
Yeah.
Like this thing is hostile against short people. And I don't know who else is going to buy this. It's a very short king truck.
Yeah.
It's very big
I get that.
Short king.
Yeah.
Or like the frunk, if it's open, like you have to be 5'10" to reach it.
Jesus Christ.
It's tall, and there's no way to close it. There's no like power button anywhere.
Button like on the
You have to go back in the truck to close it.
You can't even do it with a remote?
Well, you can do it with the remote, but then you got to carry the remote with you.
Oh, okay.
All that to say, like, it's just hard to do.
Okay. Yeah, fair.
Little detail things where they missed. I feel like they knew it was expensive, and they should have. And I feel like they were trying to control costs because they knew they were going to get roasted for having $150,000 thing.
Yep.
And I feel like they should have just lent into it, gone further, maybe offered like another $10,000 Denali or Alpha package. That
Denali Alpha.
Yeah. That upgraded things for the buyer that this thing is going after. Because on one hand, it's dumb and it's so gimmicky and so stupid and so almost satirical. It's a parody of what a truck should be. But all these fucking military dumb things are like that.
Yeah.
Like your G-Wagon, for example. Right? Like it's a big thing now to have like a faux tough military inspired truck that has actually no real military utility anymore.
Yep.
And there's no reason why this can't do that. It does all the same stupid shit that does. Those do as better. As better. As well.
Yeah.
As funnily.
Yeah.
It's just got so much more verve in the way it does it. If you're trying to get like an obnoxious, ridiculous statement piece because you want to flex that you've got money and you're a short king with a huge ego and you want a giant fuck you truck that can do really stupid things, this is great.
So it's not quite targeting the same customer base that would go for, say, a Lightning.
No, No, not quite.
Which is also what we had last week.
Yeah, the Lightning is another big electric truck we had last week, and that was objectively quite a bit better.
Yeah.
Nick, tell us your thoughts.
So I had a Lightning 2 years ago. So I was kind of revisiting this. They did make some minor tweaks over the years. This one was the base-ish Lightning Flash.
So does Flash denote any extra power or anything, or is it just kind of like a sport trim?
It's kind of like a base-ish trim.
Okay.
You know, you have cloth seats.
Yeah.
You still have the big infotainment screen, but cloth seats. And a few minor trim-related differences here and there.
Mm-hmm.
And the Lightning is the first truck that made me understand that, okay, I can see why people use these things as lifestyle vehicles.
Mm-hmm.
And, getting reacquainted with it last week, it kind of solidified that.
Yeah, that thing drives great.
It drives incredible. It's so quiet. It's fast.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? Range is actually really good.
Yeah, was it like 500?
500-ish, yeah. Yeah, it's actually useful.
Yeah.
Charging is reasonably quick, provided you can find a fast enough level 3 charger. It's just by and large, easy to live with.
Yeah, because we had the Hummer and the Lightning at the same time, and the Hummer always felt like an event to take out.
Yes,
for better or worse.
Yeah.
Whereas the F-150 just felt like a fucking F-150.
Yeah.
That just happened to be quieter and ride a little better and was much quicker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for what you get, like the Flash is about 70 grand, 75-ish. It's in the 70s.
What?
The Lightning Flash.
75 grand.
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me?
No. So that they have two trim levels beneath it. They have a super base one. With like small wheels, unpainted bumpers, and all that. And they have a one up from base, and then they have the Flash, that's their mid trim, is like 75 grand.
That before or after incentives?
I don't think they're
just Ford MSRP.
Ford MSRP before incentives.
That's fucking really good.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah. It's like the F-150 you had. You had what? The XL?
I had the STX.
STX.
So same idea. Like two up
basically
from base.
That.
Still relative. It has the things you want.
Yeah.
Yeah. But cloth seats.
But everything you want, all the tech. It has wireless charging, the big infotainment screen, all the cameras all around, all the safety shit, Blue Cruise.
Yeah.
But cloth seats for 70-ish grand and change.
That's fucking silly, dude.
For something that drives as well as it does. And
I thought it was 90.
No, 90.
It was like my Platinum Limited whatever F950 Frightening was, I think 105. If my memory serves.
So the last one that had is the Lariat, I think, in like 22. That was about like 85-ish, 85, 90, which I thought was a bit of a tall ask. But this one basically offers, everything we like about it. All the tech you could possibly want, all the bells and whistles, but cloth seats. For not a lot of money. And I don't know if the red one you had last year was like this. I also don't know off the top of my head if Ford's made like subtle tweaks to the suspension. But last time I had the Lightning, it rode okay, but it just wouldn't settle. It just kept bobbing and bobbing and bobbing.
I did not notice that. That might have just been yours.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I didn't pick up on any of that with this one.
Yeah, they've got the rear end on this thing really nicely. Yeah. Because the Lightning's rear suspension is completely different from the regular F-150.
Yeah.
Completely different. And it rides, I don't want to say way nicer, but noticeably nicer.
Yes. And there's just something calming, something serene about the Lightning that I don't really get in other pickup trucks.
It's really nice.
Yeah.
It's just nice to drive. It has all the like Ford's gone to some length to make the F-150 drive really, really well, and it's only improved on the road to being electric. It hasn't compromised it at all. It's just a nicer truck.
Unless you have to tow.
Even then, it does that pretty well. Like if you're towing far frequently, then okay, maybe don't use this. But then you've got the wrong tool for the job, and that's not the tool's fault.
Yeah.
Like if you're for 99% of use cases that F-150s actually get used for, this thing is perfect.
Absolutely. It's like,
and for 75, holy shit!
Yeah, it's kind of a mindfuck how good of a deal it is.
Yeah. Did they just drop the price recently?
Not entirely sure.
Huh.
And I know they did bring in a few trim levels this year, so the trim structures like a change around a bit, and they do have like the super base fleet special for like 60 grand-ish.
God damn.
That's a lot of EV for the money.
Yeah.
For basically the base price of an Ioniq 5, you can ostensibly get
you could just get an F-150 instead.
Base, all electric F-150.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really good. And this thing is like 500-ish kilometers range by memory. So I think it's a 120 kilowatt hour battery.
Yeah.
With 400 volt charging. 200, 400. Not that it matters. No one charges that fast anyway.
Don't quote me on that. You know what? Our charging infrastructure here in Southern Ontario is so bad that like automakers can
say whatever they want.
Say what they want. It's like, cool. That just means I'm still not going to be able to like take advantage of that because the most fast charging stations I've been able to find were like 50 kilowatts. It sucks.
Yeah. And it's fast.
Yeah. This thing embarrasses a lot of cars during like stoplight drag races.
Yeah. It's like one of the fastest cars on the road.
Yeah.
It's so... Ford really nailed it.
They did.
Like, really nailed the shit out of it.
They did. Yeah. I was...
75!
I know. The pricing is a mindfuck with this thing. It's a good deal.
Damn.
Very curious.
There's so much vehicle.
I'm very curious to see how the Silverado EV stacks up, which we do have coming up. Stu's in the work truck this week.
Yeah, Stu's got the work truck, and then we have an RST.
We have the RST coming in December.
Sick.
That would be cool, if just to see their take on an electric pickup truck people will actually use. Because as cool as the Hummer EV is, you know, it's not something I would want to use as a truck like the Lightning.
Yeah, because the Lightning can do truck things. And not to say the Hummer EV can't, but like it can't tow as much. It can't support as much payload. The bed is smaller.
Yeah.
Its shape just kind of precludes it from going places. Even though it's very maneuverable, it's not meant to be like an everyday workaday truck.
Yeah.
The F-150 is. And I'm curious to see, especially because GM has had more time with the Silverado. So like they got a chance to do the Ford thing, like Ford did the Jeep with the Bronco.
Yeah.
Right? They benchmarked it against the Wrangler. They looked at every single pain point the Wrangler has and like nailed it.
Yeah.
And GM has had the time to do that with the Lightning. So I'm very curious to see like how effectively they follow through with that.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting one to sample. But like right now, like revisiting the Lightning, it's just like, yeah, I can see why people use these things as normal vehicles. Like it makes sense.
It's a really nice truck.
Yeah. All right, we have about 10 minutes left. Why don't we wrap up by talking about our travels?
Yeah. Well, you went first.
Yeah. So I went to Austin last week to check out the 2025 Kia K4.
Okay. And what is a K4?
So the K4 is basically Kia's small sedan.
So Forte. K Forte.
Yeah, it's basically the
Kia Forte.
The new generation Kia Forte.
Okay.
Just under a different name now.
Okay.
Apparently Kia changed so much with the old car that they're like, yeah, let's call it something else now.
It's completely unrecognizable.
Yeah.
Is it an all new platform?
No.
Okay.
No.
You wouldn't know it.
You absolutely not. So everything under the skin is a carryover, so same powertrains as the previous model year.
Okay.
The base cars still have the 2-liter normally aspirated inline 4. They are not fast. 147 horsepower, 132 pound-feet of torque.
Okay.
CVT, or as Kia calls it, intelligent variable transmission.
Right.
It's not quick. Pretty good on gas, though. We covered about 200 miles in our day with it, and I think I averaged about 30 to 31 miles per gallon. So
okay, that's pretty healthy.
Pretty good. I did think it's a little weird that despite it basically being an Elantra underneath, they're not doing a hybrid. At least not for now.
Huh.
I thought that was weird. Figured it would be a pretty easy move. But...
And the Elantra has a half decent hybrid.
Absolutely. Yeah, the Elantra's hybrid. The Civic's now hybrid. The Corolla is hybrid and all-wheel drive.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a little weird that...
So this is neither.
This is neither.
Okay.
So it's a little weird that Kia wouldn't go hybrid with this, at least not yet.
Mm-hmm.
But they are offering the 1.6 liter turbo for if the base engine isn't enough.
Okay. That's big because the 1.6 is a nice engine.
It is a good engine. No more DCT.
Very good.
Arguably a good thing. I like dual clutches in general. Always found Kias and Hyundais to be not that polished. But the new ones get an 8-speed automatic transmission.
Yep.
Possibly, don't quote me on this, but it's probably the same powertrain combination that you had in that Seltos.
You'd almost guarantee it's exactly the same. Yeah. And if so, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not fast in a straight line, but other than that, it's a perfectly good car.
It looks great.
It does.
Looking at the photos you took, nicely done, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's like Kia's design language these days is really it's tight. It just it's sharp. Everything looks sharp. It doesn't look cheap. It looks. They do a very good job of punching up market and looking nicer than their price would convey.
Yeah. Honda's really, really good at that with the Civic now. Mazda has...
Except the Honda actually is just expensive.
Yes, it is expensive.
Yeah.
Mazda's still pretty good at that too.
Yeah.
But they're obviously not as big as Hyundai and Kia.
Mm-hmm.
But the K4 really does the whole baller on a budget thing quite well.
Mm-hmm.
The front end is the styling, the front and rear fascia is basically a copy and paste from
the star map that they're so big on.
Yeah.
But it works good.
It looks good.
Mm.
Kia also says that the side profile is inspired by the Stinger. I don't buy that. I don't see it. But I do see a lot of Polestar 2 in it.
I was going to say, like, that seat pillar, because it's just vertical.
Yeah.
I think I like it. Does it work in person?
It doesn't work from certain angles. Like, from the rear three-quarter, it's a little chunky. It's a little chunky looking. It's a lot of sheet metal there.
Mm-hmm.
I still kind of like it, though. It channels a bit of Polestar for not Polestar money.
Mm-hmm.
I also like the hidden door handle kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's perhaps an unintentional callback to the FDRX7. I always like that.
Mm-hmm. How much is this thing?
So this thing it's a little more expensive than it used to be.
Okay.
So the Forte started at just over 20. This one is 23.4, 23.5 to start.
Still like quite affordable.
It is still affordable. You still in all fairness, you get a lot more bells and whistles,
mm-hmm.
like a lot more active safety shit.
Yeah, more standard equipment.
Yeah. Blind spot monitoring, automatic braking, adaptive cruise is like standard all across the lineup.
Great. So you're not. It's not just a price hike. Like you were getting more for the money.
You do get more.
Yeah.
The ones we drove we drove the mid-range EX trim. Those are like 26 to start, and Kia thinks those will be the volume
sellers, the middle one.
Yeah, and it makes sense. It's a really good value. It looks cool inside and out. I like the kind of 80s-ish steering wheel.
Mm-hmm.
Infotainment's just as easy to use as it ever was.
Mm-hmm.
You know how some European car companies offer those accessory coat hangers that tack onto your Kia does that standard.
Huh.
Like they have this scoop kind of a thing baked into the rear headrest.
Interesting.
And that sort of doubles as like a bag holder or a jacket holder. And
that's kind of a nice touch. It's a good, thoughtful little thing that they've always been good at.
And
if you're going to a job interview and you need a car right now to get to your job interview, stop at a Kia dealer.
Yeah. Exactly that. Just rent one. Yeah. It's just a perfectly
just a good little economy car, and no one's really doing economy cars anymore.
No, especially not for the money.
Yeah,
like Civics. Civics are pushing 30 now to start.
Mm-hmm. None of these economy cars feel like economy cars anymore.
No,
like to us, right? Because like we hear like pretty plain Jane-ish 4-popper engine. They all feel the same. They all sound the same. Yep. Like whatever. We could make our somewhat jaded comments about them amongst each other.
Yeah.
But they punch so much further above their weight.
Absolutely.
Especially like even 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Like they've come so far in such a short period of time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like the new K4 feels like it costs maybe 10 grand more than it actually does.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's actually very nice inside.
Yeah.
Not fast, but it does many other things right.
Yeah.
Still think it's weird that there's no hybrid, but by and large, it's a perfectly good car.
Yeah. Like it almost feels weird to call it an economy car. Economical car.
Yeah.
But not an economy car. And that's the way I felt about the Nissan Kicks.
Ooh, nice transition.
Right? I thought you'd like that one.
Wow. So you were basically driving the new Kicks while I was driving the K4.
Pretty much, yeah. Everything you said.
Yeah, perfectly good.
Yeah, that's fine.
Cool.
Okay, I actually really liked it. You've seen this thing.
I like the new design.
They nailed it. Nissan's new design language is looking like really good. The Murano looks great. This thing looks fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of those things I can only imagine how stoked dealers must be to have this product on their showroom floors now, because it's so compelling and it's so good.
I can imagine a lot of people were asking for an all-wheel drive Kicks for a long time.
That was like the biggest hole in the last Kicks. The Kicks was really good at being a cheap car that didn't feel cheap. It was fun and flickable and good value, but one of the core features it was missing, whether or not you actually need it, is something we go back and forth on a lot. All-wheel drive wasn't offered.
Mm-hmm.
And people are convinced they need it. And so now they have it.
Yeah.
The Kicks has it. It's a $2,000 option. It's a couple inches bigger in every direction. The engine's bigger. It's a 2-liter instead of a 1.6.
Mm-hmm.
We're up to, same as your Kia, actually, 140 horsepower.
Ooh.
CVT's been updated. Same as in the Rogue, actually, with the updated belt and fluid pumps and shit. So it's actually fine.
Yeah.
It's completely fine. I mean, in the best way. You don't notice it. It's just a normal fucking car.
Yeah. It's side note, backtracking to the K4 for a sec. Yes, it is technically a CVT, but that one's also, it does what you want out of a CVT. It's completely unobtrusive.
I think they all are. I think the Honda's a CVT now. Yeah. On the hybrid it is. Yeah. So it's like they're all CVTs and they're fine. We've got this technology figured out by now.
Yeah.
So that was fine. The engine feels fine. It's really quiet. Like surprisingly quiet, very refined. The materials that they chose for this thing are actually surprisingly nice.
Yeah.
Like if it punches way out of its weight class. Everything is soft touch or leatherette or brushed aluminum or like a textured cloth. Like it looks and feels pretty cool. It drives well. It handles well. They made some pretty smart decisions on the engineering side with the way they set up the all-wheel drive. Mm-hmm. Most of them are kind of reactionary. Yeah. Where they sense slip and then engage the all-wheel drive, whereas this is just kind of always on based on throttle input. Mm-hmm. So if you lean into it more, it just turns on the rear end more.
Yeah.
Just kind of smart, feels more direct. The thing drives really well. Drives well, rides well. Infotainment's easy to use. You get like the double 12-inch screen that everyone's doing now.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of the point. It hits the right things that everyone is doing now. Mm-hmm. Without doing the wrong things that everyone is doing now. It's easy to see out of. It's a fantastic value. So this thing, the one we drove was like loaded, decked.
Yeah.
19s, really cool, like two-tone leather and like plaid cloth insert seats. Nissan's Pro Pilot, so like their driving aid suite.
Yeah.
with lane tracing and surround cameras. I don't think there's a lot else in that class that does like full 360 cameras at the 35-ish price point.
Yeah.
That's the thing. 35 grand.
That's a
loaded.
That's a lot of crossover for the money.
Yeah.
Especially for something that's like appreciably bigger than its predecessor.
Quite a bit bigger, yeah. Quite a bit bigger all-wheel driver. Still has the really cool, the Bose Personal Plus audio with the headrest and the speakers in the headrest, sorry. Like, there's just kind of nothing to complain about.
Yeah.
The only sort of drag is the engine. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
For not a ton more, I think it's like 36.5, 37. Kia will sell you the 1.6 turbo engine, which feels a lot pokier in the Seltos.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the only really hole I can poke in it. Otherwise, like I loved it.
Yeah.
It drove great. It's easy to use. Everything felt really nice. Like people knock Nissan for like shit that I don't think they should. Because like, man, the cars always feel nice. They always drive well. They always feel nice.
And like everyone does a CVT, and they all do the motorboating thing if you keep your right foot planted long enough. They all make the same noises. Yeah, like it is all right. It does the things that matter. Does them all really well. Yeah, there's no real weaknesses that I can find in it. They're available now. They start at 27, if my memory serves. Yeah, so a bit of a bump over the last one, up to 35. Right, and then a note is they are still going to keep selling the last one as the budget-friendly option. I guess the budget-friendlier option, yeah, because this has moved a little up market, so they're keeping the old one on to kind of fill that like super economic oriented market segment. That starts at 22. So is it basically last year's fully loaded model, or are they doing like a lesser trim from the previous body? From what I understand, it's the two bottom trims. So the S, like the base S, and the SV mid trim. Yeah. The SR premium is gone. That's on the new body. And they're calling this the Kicks Play. Cool. Yeah. So you can get a little tiny Kicks Play that's super basic and cheap, or you can, if you want something that feels just a lot more modern and just a lot more substantial, then get into a Kicks. I really liked it. Yeah. Good little NBC mobile. Yeah, we always liked those things. Because like it always had more, it felt like it had more personality than everything else in the segment. Yeah, they were a lot more fun than they had any right to be. Yeah. And this does a good job with that. Like, just keeps the right things going, moving in the right direction. I think I think this is going to be like a big win for the brand that they fucking need. Absolutely. Yeah. And they look cool. Yeah. Nicely done, guys. Cool. And that just about takes us to the end of this week's episode. If for those of you who wish to keep tabs on our automotive misadventures, you can do so on your socials at doubleclutch.ca magazine. Check us out on YouTube. We have our YouTube channel up and running. Got a bunch of cool stuff on there that Nathan's been working hard on. Probably should have phrased that better, shouldn't I? Thanks for listening, guys. We'll see you later. Bye. All right. Thanks for listening, Nathan's mom.